There was a time when people thought personality could only be split into two camps: the introverts, who drew their strength from solitude, and the extroverts, who thrived in the company of others. Later, ambiverts were added, those who walked the line between both worlds. But as human nature proved endlessly complex, another pattern began to reveal itself, one that didn't fit neatly into any of the existing boxes. This was the ontrovert. An ontrovert isn't pulled purely inward nor outward, but rather forward, always toward meaning. Unlike the introvert, they don't retreat just for comfort. Unlike the extrovert, they don't seek people just for stimulation. Instead, the ontrovert orients themselves toward situations, ideas, and relationships that feel purposeful. They might happily spend hours alone, not because solitude shields them, but because it allows them to shape a project or idea into something real. They can also light up in a crowd, but not simply to mingle. Instead, they gravitate toward conversations that carry weight, that spark thought, that leave a trace. To others, an ontrovert can seem unpredictable. One day they vanish into quiet concentration. The next, they're deeply engaged in dialogue, leading with an almost magnetic curiosity. But the through line is always intention. They don't measure life in how much energy they gain or lose from people or solitude, but in how much meaning they gather from both. In essence, the ontrovert is not defined by where they turn their attention, inward or outward, but by why. Their compass points toward significance, not circumstance. And so, in the ever-expanding map of personality, the ontrovert emerged. Seekers of depth, travelers of purpose, bridging solitude and society with a steady eye fixed on meaning itself. Here's a story for a better view of Ontrovert's POV. The alarm rings at 6:30 a.m., but for Mira, waking isn't just about starting the day. It's about asking herself the quiet question she always begins with: what matters most today? Unlike an extrovert, she doesn't crave a packed calendar, and unlike an introvert, she doesn't guard her solitude like a fortress. What she seeks is alignment, meaning, purpose. She makes her coffee and sits by the window, sketching out a plan for her project at work. For the next 2 hours, she's immersed. The world outside disappears as she shapes ideas into something tangible. To her, these quiet mornings are not about hiding away from people. They're about laying bricks for something real. By mid-morning, she steps into the office. A coworker invites her to join casual small talk, but she politely nods and slips away. It's not rudeness, it's selectivity. Mira's energy doesn't rise from chatter. It rises from conversations that mean something. Later, she spots a colleague struggling with a problem and sits down with them, diving deep into brainstorming. She's fully present, animated, and engaged. This, solving real problems, creating connections through ideas, fuels her. At lunch, she doesn't join the loudest group at the cafeteria. Instead, she chooses 1 or 2 close friends, people with whom she can share thoughts about the book she's reading or the new idea she's been wrestling with. Laughter flows, but it's grounded in something deeper than passing jokes. It's connection through substance. Evening comes, and Mira meets a small circle of friends. She's not the life of the party, but she's the one who listens intently, asks questions that peel back layers, and nudges the conversation from what's new to what's real. People often leave these encounters feeling unexpectedly lighter, as if they've touched something meaningful. Back home, she spends the final hour journaling, gathering the threads of the day: what mattered, what didn't, what she wants to carry forward. Her solitude isn't isolation, it's digestion. It's making sense of the world before tomorrow begins again. What makes you an ontrovert? An ontrovert isn't defined by how much they like people or solitude. Instead, they are defined by their relationship to meaning, some qualities that set them apart. Purpose-oriented energy. They thrive when activities or interactions feel meaningful. Routine small talk drains them, but a purposeful conversation or creative task lights them up. Selective socializing. They're not against social life, but they invest their presence carefully, choosing relationships and moments that align with their values. Depth over breadth. They don't measure life in how much they do, but in how deeply they experience it. Adaptive balance. They can enjoy both solitude and crowds, but only when these contexts serve a meaningful purpose. Reflective drive alone time is less about escaping people and more about processing, creating, or aligning with their why.